All right, we're back. All the waxes have been applied. They're all labeled, as you can see. Hopefully there. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to start by going to share my thoughts a little bit about each product. The good, the bad, the ugly, if you will. So the first one is Klasse Sealant. It feels very smooth, but there's some resistance. I don't know if that's good or bad. This is probably one of the harder ones to take off out of all of these. We'll see. I think it'll do pretty well. We'll see. This one is both. Now this one feels, when I say both, I mean both Klasses, or Klasses, the All-in-One and the Seal. This one feels, it's got the same, about the same smoothness. It's very, very smooth. It's more slick though, if that makes sense. The same thing, harder. All of these Klasses are harder to remove than everything else I used, and we'll get into that a little bit more as we go. The All-in-One wasn't as hard to remove. It's very smooth. There is some resistance. I would say there's slightly less resistance. Yeah, there's slightly less resistance to it than the sealant. Moving on to the S100. See, I almost wrote P21S. I had to cross that out. Easy on and easy off. Very smooth. Little more resistant than the All-in-One, the Klasse All In One. Moving on to the Mother's. Come on, light. There we go. Carnauba. I was surprised at this stuff. It was extremely easy on, extremely easy off. It smelled good. Very smooth, and probably about the same amount as resistance as the All-in-One. Lastly over here is the liquid luster. Pretty easy on and off. It's interesting, you don't realize how easy or hard something is to take off until you start comparing them, you know what I mean? You do the whole car and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. But back to back to back, liquid luster did decent. It smelled good. We'll see how it does. The next one we've got is the Chemical Guys Black. Very smooth, very easy application on and off. Resistant. It's pretty slick. It's probably, the Mother's is probably the slickest, and then this one, the Chemical Guys, is probably the next most slick that I've gone through so far. Following up is the Rejex. There it is. Thank you, light. Very, very smooth, very, very slick. That feels actually probably the best thus far out of all of them. It was pretty easy on, pretty easy off. Yeah, I'll go through a little easier too, or a little easier, a little later, and show you how I applied each and every one of them. Next up is the Zymol. Feels very good, very slick, very easy on, very easy off. I'm sure most of you have used it before. I was actually surprised at how little I needed. I mean, a little went a really, really, really long way. Next up is the original Turtle Wax. This is the surprise of the group by far. So a couple things. I'll go over here. Here's my little table. So I don't know. I thought this was the original stuff until I opened it, and let me open it real fast for you here. Sorry for the camera. If I can open it real fast, I might have to. Yep, I'm gonna have to put you down. Sorry, guys. Hold on for me. There we go. So what I remember of this stuff is that it was, I'll show you, it's kind of like the S100. I'll open that up too while I've got you looking at a label. Sorry. So this is the S100. This is what it looks like. It's real hard. Well, it looks real hard, but you warm it up a little bit, it becomes like butter. This, you can see it doesn't flop around or anything. This is the Turtle Wax. Look at that. It's like Jello. See it moving? And it's green, and I don't remember that either. I thought it looked like that, except worse. And it actually, I remember it smelling terrible as well. and it doesn't smell great, but it's nowhere near as bad. It was very easy on, very easy off. I gave it every advantage I could. I used that little applicator they bring with it, and they give you with it, and it is pretty smooth. I was very impressed, actually. I thought for sure, oh God, here we go. I considered even not putting it in the test, but I decided to. The next one is Meguiars White Wax. Hi, guys. Next up is the Meguiars White. This, all right, we'll go with feel first. It feels pretty good. It's not as smooth as the Turtle Wax, which is shocking to me. This was my biggest disappointment of the group. I don't know if you saw my last video, but it was leaking a little bit. You have to squeeze this thing so freaking hard. I mean, like, ridiculously hard. This is a terrible method of delivery for Meguiars, I think. A paste or something, anything would have been better. It's just terrible. It wasn't very easy on or off to apply. So not a huge fan of that white wax. It's enough to make me not want to buy the black wax. Moving on, we have the Tech Wax 2.0. It's been a while since I've used Tech Wax. It is really, really, really watery. I was surprised. I probably used way too much. It's got a really good feel to it, though. Does it feel as good as the Rejex? No, it's not as slick, but it feels good. It's easy on, easy off. The Tech Wax, I put OG for original. I can't feel a difference. They feel basically identical. It seemed like the same wax to me. Actually, the new one seemed a little bit more watery than the last one. I don't know why, but they are very, very similar. If I closed my eyes and spun me around and whatnot, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Then we've got the Meguiars Cleaner Wax Liquid. It feels about the same as the other two. It might be a little bit smoother. Maybe not. It feels about the same. So interesting there, because that is their entry level. I believe this Tech Wax is 2.0. I think it was $20, and I think I got it 20% off, so it's kind of hindering my memory. But I think this cleaner wax you can get for like $6, $7. So that's really interesting. The finished results are very, very, very similar. So take that for what it's worth. Next, we have the Lucas Speed Wax. Now, this doesn't feel all that slick. It feels smooth, but it doesn't feel all that slick. Another interesting point, it smelt kind of, if you've ever used Mother's Detailer, the one they put in the clay bar kit, it smells like cinnamon. It smells like you're spraying big red gum all over your car. It smelled similar to that. It wasn't as strong, but it was kind of chemical-y. So that's a little interesting. Then we've got Meguiars OG Tech Spray Wax. This one is the one I'm most concerned about because I'm pretty sure it was separated. The sprayer was clogged up. I couldn't spray it any longer. I had to open it up, and I just used the stick to like put some on there, and there was a nice thick layer of wax on the straw. So I'm pretty sure that wax is done for. We'll see how it does. Next one is Meguiars Ultimate Quick Spray. Feels really good. Feels a little smoother than the Tech Wax, the original Tech Wax, but it's not as slick. All of Meguiars cleaners were very easy on, very easy off. Then we had the Ultimate Quick Spray Wax, which I believe, if I remember correctly, you have, for the spray waxes, you have the cleaner, you have the gold, you have the ultimate, and you have the Tech. And I think the Tech is the best, but it might be the ultimate. But I think the Tech is. Could be wrong. It's one of them. They're both top of the line. Feels very, very good. Very, very smooth. I'm just comparing it to the Gold Class, and the Gold Class has about the same amount of. It's slicker, and it might be smoother. That Gold Gold Class might be a little bit better. So we'll see how they do on the durability, but application was very, very similar with all the Meguiar stuff. Easy on, easy off. I couldn't really tell the difference. They were all a little more watery than I thought they would be. But right now, that Gold Class probably feels the best out of all of them, which is interesting because it's just a step up from the cleaner. Next up, a product I've never used before, the Dupont Teflon Wax. Borrowed this from a friend. It's not as smooth. It's slicker, but it's not as smooth as some of the Meguiar stuff. Next up is the Simoniz. It's very smooth. It's very slick. It's not as smooth as the other ones. This one was interesting because it had an electric sprayer on it, which I've never seen before. And I guess if you're detailing, many cars a day and have to spray that bottle constantly, I guess that would be helpful. But that was interesting. It had an on-off switch, so good for it. Okay, the last two. So the top one here is Meguiars Ceramic. It feels excellent. And then the Turtle Wax Shine and Seal. I cannot say that, I swear. They both feel really good. I would give the edge slightly to Meguiars. It feels slightly slicker, but they both have about the same amount of smoothness. Both are really good. So I'll go over the application process now, what I did with them. So with all the spray waxes, what I did was I covered the panels around them. So to not cross-contaminate, so nothing has an advantage over another. With the Meguiars and the Turtle Wax here, did them one at a time. Actually, I did all of these one at a time. I started with the Turtle Wax, covered everything off except for this section, sprayed it with water, sprayed on the Turtle Wax, rubbed it on, sprayed it with water again, wiped it off. Did the exact same for the Meguiars. That's what the label says to do. And then I wiped off all the excess water. With the rest of this stuff, basically all I didn't use any foam applicator pads except for the Turtle Wax one, which came in there. I just used shop towels. I just cut them. I didn't cut them. I just ripped them up, and then I don't have 24 foam applicators, so that's what I use. I use the shop towels, and then I use the microfibers to remove them. When I put them on, now let's do this on the control. So I had a little tiny piece, and I would dab it everywhere, so I had decent coverage everywhere. And then I would come through and I would do one of these to get all the edges, and then back and forth, and then up and down, and then I would circle it until it flashed. Circle, circle, circle. And that's how I applied them. So it's about 10 in the morning now. I'd love to remove the tape and see which one has the most gloss, but we're not going to do that. That's not this test. Maybe next time. We'll see how they do. I'm going to put this out, like I said, about 9:30, 10 at night tonight, and we'll start the test tomorrow. A little interesting. I don't know what the future holds, but here in the Louisville area, we are in a bit of a drought. I don't think we've seen any rain since August 20-something, and today I think is September 22nd. So it's been a long while since we've seen any rain. So a lot of heat. It's been in the 90s for the past 2 weeks every day, low to high 90s, somewhere in there. It's been pretty miserable. So we'll see how this works. It's supposed to be in the 80s. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. And I think what I'm going to do is once a week I'll come by and I will spray it with water, see how long it lasts, see what kind of beading, sheeting we have, and go from there. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.